Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Horror Snob and this episode of Fresh Frights. My name's Michael James, I am the Horror Snob, and for the second week in a row, I am running down a movie we previewed back in July as a brand new release at the time. It went video on demand in theaters, now an easy find on Amazon if you have it, Tubi if you don't. The movie today is open 24 hours. Now, we've already run down another movie that was part of our July 2020 preview. If you missed that, last week's choice selection of Fresh Frights was Ghosts of War. Link is provided above. If you want to check that out, I would highly recommend you do so. Click the link now. Otherwise, stay tuned because there is so much to talk about with this movie. Written and directed by Padraig Reynolds, a dude you're gonna know for his work more than his name. But I'm telling you, you have likely already seen The Devil Dolls, Dark Light, Rites of Spring, maybe any one of those or all three of them, and each of them was a solid film unto its own right. Continuing that path of success, Open 24 Hours is the next big step forward for this guy. And if he's proven anything to us thus far with any of those four movies I've already mentioned, it's that this dude doesn't need big promotions. This guy doesn't need an all-star cast that costs $100 million. This dude can churn out rock star level horror flicks on a dime. He is phenomenal. A dude you need to start paying closer attention to. And a great way to start that off is by watching this movie Open 24 Hours. That cast I mentioned, like I said, not an all-star group. Not names you're really going to recognize. A couple faces, maybe. The most likely of those being Brendan Fletcher, a guy you'll likely recognize from the Rampage movies or from his turn in Freddy vs. Jason. He, along with two others whose names I'm likely about to murder the hell out of right now, make up the core cast of this thing. Vanessa Grace and Cole Vig. Vanessa Grace, you might recognize from Leatherface, the most recent addition to that franchise from 2017, and Vig, a relative unknown. Not one you're going to recognize at all, I would wager. But of the three, the one that truly steals the show in this thing is Vig. The unknown is the one who steps up and really ramps this thing up home. Grace does a decent job, but it takes her a while to kind of get into it. And it's funny how the movie really feels that way. Maybe it was intentional on her part, on what the director asked. I'm not sure. But early on, I will say about this movie, the slight negative knock I will have on it is that the cast was not entirely selling it early on. In the slow moments of the movie, as we're figuring out who people are, what the scenario is, what we're looking at, everybody's just sort of monotone, a little bit muted. But when things really kick into gear and shit starts going down and downhill quick, man, everybody turn it up to 11 and all of a sudden their acting chops really gets pumped out. Grace did a much better job towards the end of this movie than at the beginning, plays her character well, so does Fletcher, but Vig, the big bad, holy shit. You want to talk about a guy that's going to make Charles Manson look like a Catholic nun? This dude can do that. He's not just bad news for all involved, viciously sadistic and outright twisted. This guy is something to fear. Vig does an outstanding job with his character. Reynolds does an outstanding job directing, and the work he did writing this as well. Scripted so excellently. Layers of reveals on top of one another. You might have a guess, you're probably going to be wrong. Nothing better, no greater feeling as a horror fan to be surprised, to be shocked, to have what we were expecting to happen get flipped on its head. That to me is already enough to consider this movie a success. But then you add in the colorization, the use of contrast and shadows, the photography, the quality of it, and the consistency of it, the editing, creating tension for us as viewers, and the incredible use of effects, practical effects, not graphics. We're going old school in this thing, and wow, do they work. It is bloody, it is disgusting, and it is great horror fun for all. A great job, a great movie. A hell of a surprise, and I am so excited for it. Regardless of how it started off, the little bit of acting snafu early on, first 10-15 minutes, it picks up, everybody rights the ship, and damn does this thing finish off well. For all of that and how well it was done across the board, I cannot give this thing anything less than an A. An excellent watch, an excellent film. I highly recommend that you take the time to watch this thing. Again, you can find it on either Amazon, the preferred place if you have that option, no commercials. If you're good with commercials, you don't have Amazon, Tubi is free. Go and check it out there. All right, that's it for me today. As always, I invite you to take a moment, hit that subscribe button and the bell. Stay up to date with all my reviews and rankings coming out. And while you're at it, don't forget to check out our partner merch store, Chaos and Havoc. With Christmas right around the corner, time is running out. Find those perfect, darkly disturbing, and slightly humorous gifts you need to round out your gift giving this season. My name's Michael James. I am the Horror Snob. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.